to each of you. This practice is inspired from my students looking to complement their already studio class environment. And welcome to another sun salutation practice. This one it's more of a classical salutation. So I'll guide you through a classical salutation. We'll look at the components of that salutation, and then we're breaking it down. So the focus of our practice will be working on opening our calves. So in order to feel the opening, I guess what I would like us to do is let's walk through a salutation together so you can see the components broken down, and then we'll break it down even further by adding some calf stretch and opening up that area for us to then feel that experience once again, to feel whether you notice any changes, any different sensations, any more openness. So let's begin our practice. Start by coming to all fours. And all fours looks like your knees stacked below your hips, your hands slightly wider than your shoulder line and just in front of the shoulders. Let's warm our spine up with a few cat-cows to begin. As you inhale, draw your navel down towards the ground. Lift and open your chest and open through the throat area. As you exhale, concentrate or focus on the navel. Draw the navel up towards your spine as your spine rounds towards the ceiling. Open deeply through your shoulder blades and tuck your chin in towards your chest. Let's take that one more time. As you breathe in, belly floats forward, reaching towards the ground. Shoulders draw onto the back. Chest and throat open. As you exhale, draw the navel up towards the spine, push and round the spine towards the ceiling, all the while keep drawing the navel up towards the chin. Navel up towards the spine. And then release back to a neutral spine. Press your right leg behind you so that you're resting on the ball of your foot, and press your hands away from you so that your heel moves closer towards the mat. This will create quite a deep stretch in the back of the right leg, and you might feel that as sensation from your heel all the way up the back of your calf, even potentially into the back of the knee. So we want to feel a stretch without creating any pain. Pain is a warning sign to come out of the pose, or to at least come back out of the pose a little bit. Lower the right knee to the ground. Extend your left leg this time. Press the ball of your foot into the ground. Press your hands away from you so that we're creating a bit of a push of that back heel in towards the mat. And again, I just want you to take a moment to notice what sensation you are aware of. Where do you feel this stretch the most? And hold here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower that knee to the ground. Tuck both toes under. Press down evenly through the hands and move the hips up in the direction of the ceiling. So we're coming into downward dog with a bent knee variation to begin with. We're only transitioning here for 2 breaths. Look forward between your hands. For some of you, you might walk the feet forward to meet the hands. For others, it might be more comfortable to walk the hands back to meet the feet. We're coming into a forward fold. Lower the chest to or towards the thighs. As you breathe in, press down through your feet. Rise all the way up. Extend the fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart. If you've arrived at the back of the mat, walk forward to the top of the mat. So walking you through Classical Salutation round 1. As you inhale, extend the arms all the way up overhead. If it feels okay for your neck, look up. As you exhale, soften through your knees. Lead from your hips as you fold forward. Chest moves forward, lower the chest towards the thigh. Forward fold. As you breathe in, slide your hands up your shin. Extend through the crown of your head, halfway lift. As you exhale, step your right foot back and lower your knee to the ground. And at this stage, you can take blocks to prop up your practice if the ground feels too far away from you. And for alignment, we will look at the front leg. So in this low lunge, our front knee is stacked over our ankle, and that helps support the knee. Either use the blocks to continue to support you, or inhale, lift your arms all the way up. Exhale, lower the hands back down. Remove the blocks just for a moment as we transition into downward facing dog. So you will lift and extend through the back knee. And again, push the heel down towards the mat to create that stretch in the back of the calf. Hands come to the ground. And then step or shuffle back to downward facing dog. Let's take 2 breaths here together. On an in-breath, float forward to plank. Plank is quite a strong pose, so choose your option well here. Either this extended variation, or you can modify plank by lowering the knees to the ground. And then we're lowering the chest all the way to the ground. So the elbow creases point forward. The shoulders are stacked over your wrists, and then slowly bend your elbows back towards your waist as you lower the chest towards the ground. Engage your legs by pressing your feet into the mat, and then lift and extend the chest open. This is called baby cobra. As you exhale, push back to all fours. Tuck your toes under. Again, we're moving the hips up in the direction of the ceiling for downward facing dog. Okay, options here to swap legs. So option number 1 is to lower back to the knees. Step or assist your right foot forward. Option number 2 is to move straight into that pose from downward facing dog. So from downward facing dog, step or assist your right foot forward between your hands. So we arrive at the same place, just with a couple of different options. Again, option to prop up that low lunge as long as your knees stacked above your ankle. Take a big breath in, sweep your arms up. Exhale, frame the front foot. Lift through your back knee and step that back foot forward to meet the front. That is almost one cycle of Classical Salutation. Breathing in, halfway lift, we extend through the spine. Breathe out, soften your knees a little, fold forward. Press down through the feet. Let's rise all the way up. Breathe out, hands to heart. So take a blanket roll. We're going to start looking at breaking that down now, but adding some stretching into it, into the sequence to start to open up, and then we'll look at that salutation once again. So with your blanket roll, place it at the top of your mat and press the soles of your feet onto the mat. So you're opening up through the back of the ankles. Join the hands to the heart. And then as you inhale, lift the arms all the way up. As you exhale, soften the knees. Now this may feel like quite an intense stretch from the back of the heels all the way up to the back of the knees. Find your point and then slowly start to lift the sit bones up as your chest moves forward. Find your blocks. Prop yourself up, half forward fold. Exhale, lower the chest towards the thighs. This is quite an intense stretch in itself. Press down through the heels, through the balls of the feet. Inhale, lift the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. So let's look at intensifying that stretch just a little as we move through 2 more cycles. Press the balls of your feet down into the towel. Lift your toes up and notice how that changes the stretch. Inhale, lift the arms up. You may lower the toes at this stage softly. Exhale, soften through the knees. We soften through the knees. The tailbone or the sit bones lift up as the chest moves forward. Then we start to lower the chest all the way to the thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Press down through the feet, rise all the way up. Breathe out, hands to heart. This last round we will hold for a couple of seconds. Inhale. Reach for the ceiling. As you exhale, forward fold. Sit bones are moving up as the chest is moving forward. Place your hands on your blocks. The hands are situated below your shoulders. Extend through the knees somewhat just to feel how that intensifies the stretch of the calves and the opening. Let's take 5 breaths. Three, 4. Remember, softening the knees can take some of that tension out of the back of the legs. Last breath. And forward fold. Press down through the feet to rise all the way up. Breathe out, hands to heart. Okay, let's move into the next component of the pose. Move the blanket off to the side. We'll scaffold or build on from where we've just been. Breathe in, arms float up. As you breathe out, forward fold. Halfway lift, hands slide up your shins. And as you exhale, step the right foot back, lower the knee to the ground. Okay. Take your blanket roll or your towel roll and place it in between the back of the calf and the back of the thigh. And then you're leaning into the towel so that your calf and thigh press together on the towel. Take your blocks and just settle into that. So this is opening the calf of the front leg and most likely opening this hip flexor of the opposite leg or the right leg. And I just want you to take a few breaths here. Adding whatever movement you need to find your level of working in this pose. One more breath together. Come out of that pose, remove the towel. And let's transition now to downward facing dog. So back toes are tucked under. Step the front foot back to meet in downward dog. Take one breath here. On your next in-breath, float forward to plank position, remembering that this is the stronger variation. So if this is not right for you, lower your knees to the ground. Elbows hug in, elbow creases press forward. As your elbows move back, we're lowering all the way to the ground. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Inhale, expand and open through the chest. Legs are super strong. Press back, tabletop or all fours. Remembering this option here, as we change the legs, can be either an assist of the right leg forward between the hands or taken as a downward dog transition. So from downward dog, we step or assist the right foot forward between the hands and then lower the knee to the ground. Take your blanket roll for side two. Place the roll in between the back of the knee. And then track that knee forward so that you hug the towel in between the calf and the back of the thigh. Take your blocks to support you. And then while here, notice the sensations in the front of your leg that this towel is invoking or inviting. Let's hold here for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release, remove the towel, remove the blocks, and lift up through the back leg. We're stepping back and meeting in downward facing dog. And let's just take a few moments in downward dog to add some stretching here as well. So as you inhale, I want you to lift the heels of both feet. And then as you exhale, soften and bend through the knees. So the first experience here of our stretch is to extend the right heel down towards the mat, as far as it will go. And then press the hands away from you to intensify that stretch in the back of the calf. Take a few breaths here. Last breath. Soften and bend the right knee, and we're experiencing the stretch in the left leg now. So We take exactly the same, pressing the left heel into the ground. If at this stage for you the arms or the shoulders are fatigued, this is an option as well. So just as we did at the beginning of practice, ball of the foot presses into the mat and press the hands away from you to press the left heel towards the ground. Either option is acceptable. So I'm just transitioning back to downward dog now. We're holding for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come out. Again, look forward between the hands. Your optional preference to walk the feet forward to meet the hands, or to walk the hands back to meet, or even a combination of both. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, soften your knees and fold forward. Press down through the feet, rise all the way up. Breathe out, hands to heart. If you're at the back of the mat, move forward for our last cycle. So see if you can be aware enough and in tune enough to notice whether there are any significant changes or any changes at all that you have become aware of since our first round. As you inhale, lift your arms up. As you exhale, soften the knees. Your sit bones move up as your chest moves forward. Soften again a little further and the chest comes towards the thighs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, lower the knee to the ground. Knee stays stacked over the ankle. Inhale, sweep and lift the arms up. Exhale, frame the front foot. Let's transition back to downward facing dog. Next inhale, float forward to plank. Lowering from here or from the modified variation, chest comes all the way to the ground. Power the legs up by pressing the feet into the mat. Inhale, peel and lift the chest away. Exhale, move back through tabletop, tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Now we're moving into that transition now so that the right leg comes forward. Remember, options here are to come from tabletop, assist the right foot forward, or to come from downward dog, step forward or assist. Lower the left knee to the ground. Breathe in, arms float up. Breathe out, frame the front foot. Back knee lifts, look forward, step forward. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, forward fold. Press down through the feet, rise all the way up. Breathe out, hands to heart. Let's slowly make our way down to the mat. Breathe in. Breathe out, forward fold. Halfway lift. Step or walk the feet back to downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the ground. Bring the big toes together, take your knees wide apart and draw your sit bones back towards your heels. Let your forehead rest to the ground or on the support of your hands. And take as long as you need here to soak up that practice. So any of that sequence we've just done can be broken down pose by pose. So if your body is feeling like it needs a little more arm strength, it needs a little more work in the legs, you can pick your pose from here and just work on that component of the pose. My name's Anita, I'm from Yoga on the Road. Thank you once again for your practice. Namaste.